In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how PPP authentication works, where the ISP authenticates the client. Now, this is leveraging PAP or CHAP. The ISP challenges the client to authenticate. The client has authentication information to exchange with the provider, and the ISP uses an authentication server, a broadband remote access server, or a BRAS, a username configuration on the ISP router, and interface level username or password for authentication on the client. And the way we're going to do that is on R1 is going to authenticate to R2. So we're going to go ahead and pull up our topology here. So R1 is going to authenticate to R2, and the way that we're going to pull this off here is actually relatively simple. Go find there's my mouse. It's actually really simple. You have to configure R2 for authentication. So on R2, we're going to go ahead and type in do show run interface serial 1/0. So we have PPP authentication CHAP. Now you can do this with PAP as well, but CHAP is it's easier with CHAP. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to R1. We're going to type do show run section username. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of this username configuration. So type no, and then the username R2 password 0 Cisco. And yep, that's true. I do want to do that. And then R2, I'm going to type in here, username is going to be client with a password of CHAP, and hit the enter key. Now, what's going to end up happening now is R1 and R2 should do show IP interface brief. This connection should go down here momentarily once I go into interface serial 1/0 and shut down the link. And the reason I shut down the link is to prove to you the configuration works as I state it does. So I'm going to come out of here and I'm going to go and say, I'm going to specify that, and let me go back to global config real quick and do show run section username. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to yank out the R1 config, because I only want to use the client config to go. So yep, that's fine. And so what will end up happening here is on R1 we have the configuration is down. On R2 we do a show run interface serial 1/0. Now what's going to end up happening here is R2 will have to challenge R1 to authenticate. R1 in this particular case here, if we do a do show run interface serial 1/0, we have to remove the PPP authentication CHAP. So we're typing no shut, and we're going to go ahead and now the interface serial 1/0 is up, which means that the interface itself comes up. So we're typing no PPP authentication CHAP, and let's just go up here and just double check that don't need to put anything else in there. Everything else is good to go. So right now it's failing to peer, okay, which is fine, no big deal. So what we need to do here is, let me just double check to see if I'm actually capturing. And all right, I'll go ahead and close that out. Sometimes it does do that. Start Wireshark. So you're gonna see that it's failing authentication. Bring this all the way down. I wish I could figure out a way to keep it all the way down instead of rising up like that. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back over here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this config up. The way that we need to do this is on R1, we have to go underneath the interface, and what we need to do is it's waiting for R2. It's saying, okay, I need you to tell me what you want me to do. That's why we're getting all this authentication fail. To make this work, we have to type in PPP CHAP. Hostname is going to be client, and then PPP CHAP password is going to be CHAP. and you're going to see that it finally does go through success, and then we are in good shape. If we come out of R1, or I'm sorry, R2, we do a show PPP question mark. We type in sessions, no, statistics. So we're gonna have a connection up and running, and as you can see, there's multiple connections that failed. If we do a show PPP all, it's going to let us know that we have a LCP is open, CHAP negotiation is working, IPCP is working, CDP is working, and then we have 10.1.2.1 is the client. And on R1, if we do a do show IP interface brief, we are up, and do ping 10.1.2.2, the ping works just fine. And that is R1 authenticating to R2, which basically is simulating the client authenticating to the server. Now, the benefit to this is if you have, the one thing we can't have, do show run interface serial 1/0, is you can't have PPP authentication CHAP here. If you have any authentication here locally, or at the interface level of the router is going to be challenging the other end to authenticate. You can do it one-sided, which is what is happening right now, because authentication is a one-way configuration. It is not bidirectional. So what I have just demonstrated for you is how you would set up authentication unidirectional. The client authenticates to the server and then is able to get access to the rest of the network. Beyond that, everything else is good to go. We have some additional content we're going to take a look at later on as we move forward in this section. And until next time, guys, take it easy.